39 days later, ODAC women's basketball returns to center stage in Turner Gymnasium as we get a repeat of one of last year's most thrilling encounters. It was a double overtime affair that had everyone's eyes peeled to their screens. And now ODAC Coach of the Year, Lindsey Burke-Eberhardt, leads a ferocious Randolph-Macon Yellow Jacket squad into the Hill City, hot off an 11-game winning streak as they run into the hometown Lynchburg Hornets. Hi everybody, welcome inside Turner Gymnasium. Evan Gates leading you through this one. Joe Brennan will have Lynchburg versus Roanoke men's basketball at 7:30. The energy is great. Feels like we need to have a reunion after that long spell of no basketball in Turner Gymnasium, but rest assured, this Lynchburg women's basketball team has been playing well. A trip to Nashville later, they're coming into this one with energy and with confidence in this ODAC slate. And we'll see some of it in the pregame stats as we take a look at one of the premier teams in the conference, Randolph-Macon. They play with a controlled style of game. Lindsey Burke-Eberhardt knows exactly what she's trying to accomplish with this squad, a squad that has really utilized its veteran play throughout the season. You see it on your screen. Not exactly the biggest three-point shooting team, not exactly a team that wants to get off to a track meet, but they do control it well, and that 13.6 turnovers per game stat is really all you need to see. They will control this game start to finish if you let them. Lynchburg, a team that certainly has veterans of their own, but they're trying to use that confidence and build momentum after losing to Ferrum to start 2025. They came back with a trip to Virginia Wesleyan. They try to do it today against the #2 team in the conference. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the keys to the game, Evan's gateway to success. It's hard to really build a blueprint for a game like this because the contrast of styles is going to be so evident, but two teams that will have a lot of consistency in that starting lineup, and we've seen Randolph-Macon utilize just two different starting lineups this year, so you know what to expect from the Yellow Jackets, and it's always that dominance in the paint. This is such a tall team. They have out-rebounded opponents in their past 8 games, and they've won 11 straight, so you know it's working well. We'll see how it plays and how it fares versus this Lynchburg team, as well as protecting transition opportunities. Lynchburg heats up from 3 when they're playing at their pace, and they have historically shot better inside Turner Gymnasium. So you know that for the Hornets to win this game, they need a little bit of speed on their side. Randolph-Macon can try to eliminate it on theirs. For the Hornets, it's about denying offensive boards. Randolph-Macon is plus 104 versus opponents in that offensive boards category this season. They have been absolutely stifling when they get players in the paint, and their top 3 scorers this season are post players, so you expect a little bit of it in this one. You see one of Lynchburg's on their side, Taylor Brown, another post player who can make a difference. And for this Lynchburg team, yes, they're going to use the perimeter. They want to spread it out. It means trimming down turnovers. They're averaging 18 per game this season, 20 or more in 4 different contests, and it has really started to spell trouble in some of these close conference affairs. They're going to try and rebound after splitting those first 2 games of 2025. Let's go ahead and look at some of the players to watch in this contest. So many different characters you could choose from, but for this Randolph-Macon squad, look no further than Catherine Kagi, number 20 in the lemon and black. She missed last season due to an ACL tear, but she was a first-teamer the season before, coming out of Faith Christian High School in Roanoke, Virginia. She is such a difference maker, and she really facilitates a lot of that play down low because, yes, she is a forward. She has size, but she can play like a guard as well. She'll defend your best player no matter what size they are on the other side, and she is so great to watch. For Lynchburg, it's one of the freshmen who is shooting the lights out of every gym she steps in. Audra Petty leading the conference right now, 44.6% from beyond the perimeter. She's so fun to watch, and her shooting ability has been on full display. Coach Nichols has really praised what she has been able to do throughout the season, and she might even be one of those difference makers because not only does she have that three-point ability, but also a lot of post presence and size down low. There's a lot at play. We're so glad to be back in Turner Gymnasium 39 days later, and we hope you're excited to watch this one. It's an ODAC affair between the Yellow Jackets and the Hornets, the Battle of Sting on the other side here in the Hill City. A chilly day outside, but the heat is on in Turner Gymnasium, and we're excited to bring back basketball here in the Hill City. The men's team did have a game versus Hampton-Sydney on January 4th, but as we said in the open, the first game for this Lynchburg women's squad of the 2025 year. And let's go ahead and look at the starting lineups on both sides. A lot of familiarity at this stage of the season, and both coaches understand they want to try and start limiting those lineups to find some of that consistency. Randolph-Macon, the lone difference today is Mackenzie Matheny. She started last time out versus Hollins as Juliana Park missed that contest for the Yellow Jackets. She is dressed out today, so we'll see if she gets minutes, and she has been a difference maker for Randolph-Macon leading that team. But Mackenzie Matheny, a performance that really put the conference on notice. 18 points and 13 rebounds and a double-double versus Hollins. She was the ODAC Player of the Week, and so certainly earning her stripes. We'll see how Lynchburg defends it, and they have the same starting lineup on their side. The Hornets have used Kate Littlejohn and Olivia Harris in that backcourt throughout the year. Brooke Kaysen, Audra Petty, and Bree Spainhour will round out the starting five for the Lynchburg team in the home whites as we get prepared for this conference matchup. A Randolph-Macon team receiving votes in the national poll. They've been doing so for 6 straight weeks. So you have to feel like the wall is going to come crashing down sooner rather than later, because it is a squad that is so disciplined. They want to get off to the races early, and you see number 20 on your screen, Catherine Kagi, one of those difference makers. We'll see what she can do to really assert dominance in this contest. Randolph-Macon squad, as we already mentioned, with Matheny and Kagi in the lineup. Sam Smith, the ODAC Rookie of the Year last season, gets the start at the helm. Point guard from Chesterfield, Virginia. She started every game. She's averaging 34 minutes per contest. Bella Bruce, another one of those guards for Randolph-Macon who has been consistent. And then Marissa Ziegler in the lineup. Up and away we go. Audra Petty and the Hornets corral the tip. And right away, that perimeter offense, they'll try and use those 5-out looks. Now Kate Littlejohn trying to direct traffic. Sam Smith guarding right at the perimeter. Outside to Harris. Cut to the free throw line. Spainhour looking left, runs into traffic, and strong defense from Smith down low. 4:06 left on the shot clock in the opening possession of the game. Lynchburg coming off a 65-56 win at Virginia Wesleyan on Sunday. Moved that game due to the snow as Petty has to get a shot up across her body. Momentum pulling her one way, shot goes the other. Rebound Yellow Jackets. And a little bit of pace on their side as well as Ziegler rocks this one back out to Sam Smith. Options around for a team that loves to cut. They love to utilize that back door as well. As Kagi isolated down low, double team. Ziegler straightaway jumper swishes it home in their first shot of the game. And Randolph-Macon employing a little bit of full court pressure as well. Olivia Harris, the senior out of Salem, Virginia, has seen so many different defensive schemes throughout her career. Maybe just a little something to try and rattle this tempo for Lynchburg, a team that loves to run. Spainhour isolated with Matheny, who swats it to the wall. Bree Spainhour, somebody who has been such a difference maker for Lynchburg since returning from that volleyball season. Number 25 in white. Just continuing to operate at a high level. Played against her sister in that Emory and Henry scrimmage. That was back all the way in December before the Nashville trip, as Kaysen takes a stab at a three-pointer, rebounded by Bella Bruce. Nashville trip proved fruitful for Lynchburg. They dropped that first contest against Franklin and Marshall, but came back to win against a very strong Webster team, a team that lost just one game last season, and that was in the NCAA tournament to Wisconsin Oshkosh. So for Lynchburg to come in and really make a statement in that Nashville tournament, it was an impressive sight. But Randolph-Macon has been doing that all season long. Just a loss to Gettysburg on an 11-game winning streak. And Coach Lindsey Burke-Eberhardt said, we don't really pay attention to that streak. We're just trying to take it one game at a time. They're doing well to start this one, as now Sam Smith takes a few dribbles on the far side, pump fake. Now options around the horn. Here's Ziegler. immediately trying to make that bounce pass down low. You can tell part of the game plan for Randolph-Macon is looking right to the block. Doesn't work this time, but an inbounds play under the basket. Sam Smith catches Lynchburg napping. Beautiful pass down low to Kagi. And that's why she's the ODAC Rookie of the Year last season. So quick, not just with her steps, but with her IQ. Sam Smith, just fun to watch. Led the ODAC last season with 4 assists per game, and the turnovers starting to rack up early for this Lynchburg squad. A number they hope to try and combat. Coming into this one, averaging 18 per game. Already a pair as Bella Bruce goes against the other number 4 on the floor, but it's a turnover for the Yellow Jackets. So back and forth we go. Hornets will take this one out. 7:28 to go in the opening quarter. So glad you're joining us here in Lynchburg, Virginia. This is a Randolph-Macon squad that was also ousted in the ODAC quarterfinals last year. Lynchburg dropped that contest to Shenandoah, and immediately after in the Salem Civic Center, Macon upset by Roanoke. Two teams that want to get back to that quarterfinal round as Audra Petty takes a 3 that looked like it missed everything. Either way, Randolph-Macon takes over. You see a passionate fan base on the other side. Randolph-Macon not only travels well, but they bring the energy. You can always hear them when they step into your gym. That was evident in Salem at last year's ODAC tournament as Sam Smith shovels it to Kagi. Now down low, Matheny had options. Lynchburg fortunate to apply some pressure now with the shot clock winding down. Sam Smith in isolation. Jumper from the free throw line, no good. Here comes Bree Spainhour. Hornets had space, but no landing zone, and now Kate Littlejohn can reset the play. The Hornets, a team that can move quickly, but they'll also set up a few options as once again a stifling Yellow Jackets defense. And Sam Smith runs into traffic on the other side. She'll head to the line for 2, our first free throws of the game. Substitution, and it's a great sight for the Randolph-Macon squad as Juliana Park returns to the contest after missing that game versus Hollins. Should say she's getting her first minute of the contest, but returning after that last game, and it's a very strong presence down low. This Randolph-Macon team has their top 3 players in that scoring category all playing at the post. So they'll employ a lot of size as Littlejohn still heckled by Smith. Offense just keeps getting wider and wider. Now Spainhour looking to direct traffic. Here's Brooke Kaysen. Look down low. It was a great thought. Just a little mistimed, and Randolph-Macon takes over again. I believe that's the 4th turnover of the contest here in this first quarter for Lynchburg. And back the other way. Mentioned that Sam Smith is averaging 34 minutes per game. Well, so many different Yellow Jackets who find their name on that starting lineup, and they find themselves in the game more often than not. Casey Kelly steps into the contest for her first minutes as she replaces Kate Littlejohn. Kelly, also a track and field performer here on the campus of the University of Lynchburg, and it will be very interesting to see if she offers services at the indoor track and field championships. This basketball team really hopes that she is with them at that stage as she immediately goes up for a little floater that doesn't work. Here comes Randolph-Macon. So many dual sport athletes, but at the collegiate level, it makes it even tougher as Park throws this one to the Lynchburg bench. We're heading the other way with 5:01 to play in the first quarter. So many different stats you can look at this stage of the season. I think every single coach around the nation will try not to obsess with the numbers too much and just use the product on the floor. But Lynchburg has not won a game when trailing at the half. So maybe an interesting benchmark as everybody scrambling on the hardwood. This time Randolph-Macon wins the battle. Smith has a mismatch, moves outside of the perimeter. She's going to take a stab at it as this one clips the iron and Kaysen comes away with it. Pass outside, Audra Petty. Now looking to post on Catherine Kagi. You see some of these different options, but through 5 minutes, almost 6, Lynchburg has yet to find the first bucket of the game. Petty running out of time, running out of options. Kaysen looks to connect. This one's off the mark. Such a tight defensive scheme from Randolph-Macon. It's nothing special. No zone looks. We haven't really seen that full court pressure, but they'll use that man defense to their advantage. Rebounding has really been the stat as well. It's just those hustle stats that start to show up in these games that have been so tight. Petty working it around the perimeter. Olivia Harris thought about it. Instead, sticking outside. Shot clock once again at 8. Pass down low, Spainauer trying to go to work, goes around and in. A very impressive bucket to get Lynchburg on the board as it's off the glass. That's why Bree Spainauer is so good. One could even think about those all-conference considerations. She came in red hot off the volleyball season. As Ziegler gets fouled, she'll head to the stripe for 2. And it'll be our first break of the contest. So, on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, 7 points in the first 7 minutes. It's a scrap fest and a lot of strong defense here in Turner Gymnasium. We'll be back on the other side. The Yellow Jackets lead by 3. Back in the Hill City, Lynchburg taking on Randolph-Macon as they return to Turner Gymnasium, and this game being played at a lightning quick pace so far, 7 minutes off the clock. It'll slow down momentarily as Marissa Ziegler, a 60% shooter from the stripe, has 2 opportunities to improve it. Randolph-Macon 12-1 coming into this contest, and after losing just their 2nd game of the season, they've rattled off 11 straight. Some impressive wins. A win versus Johns Hopkins that might as well be that stamp of approval at this stage of the season, as Bella Bruce steps into the contest to replace Ziegler. And Kate Littlejohn looking to put a little extra pep in their step. This confident bunch from Lynchburg has really used a lot of different options throughout the season between tempo and even some of those players on the bench as Macy Mullins entered the contest. Foul off the ball. This one's on Bella Bruce. That'll be the Hornets out of bounds. 8 combined turnovers as we got this one started, and maybe the stat to pay attention to is 0 offensive boards. The Hornets love that. Randolph-Macon would like to use that advantage to the full effect. A team that has absolutely dominated As it's another turnover from the Hornets, Bella Bruce takes over. A lot of those turnovers far away from home as dominant display down low. Mackenzie Matheny, who has been so good in these last few contests, starting to step up big. Matheny, the Mount St. Mary's transfer, set that career high in points and rebounds versus Hollins. That was just her first start of the season as Macy Mullins crashes into Bella Bruce. Another swat, and 6 ticks remain on the shot clock. Mullins really pivoting from that point guard role in her freshman season, and she is starting to be relied upon more as a shooter. We'll see if she can spark a fire for Lynchburg as Kaysen looks to isolate against Matheny, gets the shot off and in. Beautiful left hand from Brooke Kaysen. Those are the plays where even in a scoring drought, this Lynchburg team started today 1 for 9. You have those stars that can go out and grab you one, and it's still just a 5-point game. Pump fake down low, and Kaysen blocks again. Everybody joining the block party here on this Hill City evening, a Wednesday night contest. Randolph-Macon so far getting the better of Lynchburg, but the Hornets hanging tough. Another substitute back into the game. Catherine Kagi will return, and Emian Byers takes a seat. Was a quick look off the first inbounds play. Second one goes straight to Bella Bruce, around the horn, runs into trouble, and here comes Bree Spainhour. Isolating Kayla Sledge down low, but she didn't really get a chance to make a play. Now the other way, Kagi setting up shop. Now pass outside. Yellow Jackets, another three-pointer from Morgan Miller. Can't connect, but it will stay with Randolph-Macon. Morgan Miller, someone we haven't talked about yet. 5'9" junior from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. She, like Catherine Kagi, was out last year with an ACL tear, and so for Coach Burke Eberhardt to get both back, it's not only an improvement, but it's just a sense of confidence that the squad has with so many veterans in the mix. Coach said, you know, this team is tougher and more athletic with them. They're not going to take a game for granted after some of those injuries. And Kagi, someone who has had 2 ACL tears in her career, as this shot's off the mark. And Littlejohn can jog across the timeline. Misdirection, great screen from Sledge, who has that matchup down low. Littlejohn thinks differently, and Kelly's pass swatted away. Randolph-Macon so methodical on defense. Now final minute. They'll look to have one good final possession as Ziegler tries to connect on the mid-range. There's those offensive boards we talked about, but Kayla Sledge hits the hardwood and comes away with it for Lynchburg. Maybe final chance of the first quarter. Mullins outside. Typically see teams going 8 or 7. Instead, Randolph-Macon ready for liftoff on the other side. Kagi gets an easy breakaway bucket, and that will not put a good taste in Coach Nichols' mouth. This Lynchburg team looks to rebound on the other side, down 7 after this first quarter, but just 4 points for the Hornets. It's been a defensive affair all around. We'll see what changes in the second quarter. You're watching the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Back in action here in the Hill City. Lynchburg taking on Randolph-Macon, and let's take a look at our back pocket stat of the game. Randolph-Macon has been absolutely dominant off inbounds plays throughout the season, and they had 12 points off of them in that 62-48 victory versus Hollins. It's safe to say it's part of the equation for this team that has been scripting everything else so well. Such a disciplined style of play, and we've seen a few of those quick looks already as Kagi tries to go with the reversal. Instead, Lynchburg takes over. Last year, that 69-63 double overtime affair to start the year is a very similar time. Believe it or not, this is the third consecutive year that Randolph-Macon has played in Turner Gymnasium. A lot of conference realignment. We know Emory and Henry left the conference, and then we have a transition with Ferrum going to Division II. So a lot of these different home and away series are starting to get a little tweaked. Fortunate for Lynchburg because it is a Randolph-Macon gym and Crenshaw Gymnasium and team that has so much support, always a loud environment, as the offensive foul is caught on Kagi down low. Yellow Jackets won't like that one, as you saw Sayla Parker on your screen coming into the contest, another one of the freshmen for this Hornet squad who has made a difference. Started that opening game of the season. Just two freshmen for Lynchburg this season, between Audra Petty and Sayla Parker, both on the floor right now. Littlejohn, also a newcomer, the transfer from Roanoke in her sophomore season. Harris pondering. Now a little bit of separation, better pump fake. Went to the basement to get to the hoop, but couldn't connect. Here's Bella Bruce. That matchup so shifty. Our Harris and Bruce, two of those guards that can really get that first step and connect. Now, Kagi looking to go to work on Spainhour. Doesn't work, but over the top, Matheny with the offensive board. Everybody moving around, and Kagi a little bit shaken up behind the play. Here's Littlejohn. Runs into traffic once again. We've said that so many times. Now Sam Smith. Great pass, and Kagi connects. Oh, wow. Connect the dots for the sophomore. Sam Smith proving why she's one of the best point guards in the conference. So quick. We're starting to see this Randolph-Macon team slowly inch away, but Bree Spainhour has other plans off the glass and in. Now 3 field goals for Lynchburg in this contest, all very high percentage looks. They have yet to connect on a three-pointer. Smith has her way going to the hoop. Kagi once again add another assist to the tally for number 1 and 2 points for number 20. Yellow Jackets up by 9 here in this second quarter. Littlejohn. Surveying. Not a lot of movement from this Lynchburg offense. Now screen set up. Harris wants to use the clock. Trying to get to the hoop. Sam Smith, great defense, but Harris throws up the 3. Won't connect with anything, and the bench all on their feet. Coach Lindsey Burke Eberhardt loving the energy. That has been the case all season long for the women in black. They are just having their way, 5-0 in conference play. Last time out for this Randolph-Macon squad is 62-48 win versus Hollins. And as we talked about, it was a very different character who was that main player to watch, Mackenzie Matheny, who hadn't started the game, 18 points and 13 rebounds. As Juliana Park banks in a 3, everything starting to go in for the Yellow Jackets. Matheny was Park's replacement for that contest. And in a game where Randolph-Macon conceded an 8-0 lead to start the game, they turned on the engine pretty quick. Fouls on Sam Smith. First of the contest, and Littlejohn will take this one out of bounds. The ODAC slate finally back into consistency. Olivia Harris finally connects on a three-pointer, the first of the game for Lynchburg. Now 1 of 6. Great pass over the top, and Juliana Park once again finding residence in the paint. Hornets starting to use that pace, have to be smart. Pass goes outside to Kate Littlejohn. Under 6 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Now Brooke Kaysen. Tell you, Bree Spainhour just getting bullied down low, and the referee has had enough. That foul on Juliana Park. It's just the number of post players that this Randolph-Macon team possesses that makes it so difficult to play against. Just looking at the roster, 5 players listed as 5'11" or taller. We mentioned those top 3 leading scorers being post players as well, and it's a matchup for the Hornets that is not only difficult, but you also have to find ways to get those shots, to get the shiftiness, like Olivia Harris, one of the veterans, finding her way. 5 points in the contest for the senior from Salem. Park, bounce pass down low to Matheny. Somehow works her way inside. Now Brooke Kaysen creating a little bit of isolation, maybe feed the hot hand. Olivia Harris starting to create some plays for this Hornets offense that stays within 9. Here's the sophomore Taylor Brown. Reversal to the other side. Littlejohn couldn't connect as Ziegler played tight defensively. Sam Smith working inside. Now the pass out. Randolph-Macon creating so much space off that penetration. Ziegler from 3, knocks it home. 8 points from Marissa Ziegler in this contest. Started 25 of 26 games last season. That 3-point shot has really been a struggle for her this season as well. First 3 years at Randolph-Macon, she was averaging a combined 37% from beyond the perimeter. This year, just 26. But proving once again, you can't leave her open. And we'll head to the media timeout with 4 minutes left here in this second quarter. Randolph-Macon starting to establish some dominance in this second. They're ahead by 12. We'll be back on LHSN. Well, a lot of players in this contest who are getting a very high volume of minutes throughout the season. In fact, 3 of the top 4 ODAC players for minutes per game are in this matchup. Sam Smith, who has the ball in her hands right now, Brooke Kaysen and Kate Littlejohn for Lynchburg. Starting to see if it makes a difference, but the energy has been high the entire way so far. Lynchburg starting to get out and transition some more in the second quarter. It works for Olivia Harris, who goes up and in with the left hand. Starting to taste a little bit of success when they're getting out on the break. We'll see how it fares in the second half if you can try and tire out this Randolph-Macon defense that has been so good so far as this pass goes downstairs, last touched by Harris. And Audra Petty steps back in for Taylor Brown. Petty, the Randleman High School graduate, if you remember Taylor Gant from last season, the same school down in North Carolina. And Audra Petty, really valuable in those few games that we have seen. We mentioned the Webster contest for Lynchburg, a game that we were so, let's just say, unfortunate to not broadcast because it was so much fun. That Webster game, 5 players who tallied 30 or more minutes for Lynchburg. Olivia Harris had 24, Audra Petty had 19, and it just felt like in that second half, everything was going the Hornets' way. Great way to cap off that trip. High level of competition. Pass is around the horn. Here's Miller. Once again, searching downstairs at the block. Sam Smith creates space. Pump fake. Oh, wow. High vocabulary for number 1. Using the entire page to find it off the glass and in. Once again, that battle down low. Spainauer and Juliana Park. And Spainauer wraps around and in. Impressive stuff from number 25. Bree Spainauer, someone who likes to stretch the floor. She's not exactly that post-up and power-through player. But she's showing that size can be such an advantage as Sam Smith clips the back of the iron. Offensive rebound for the Yellow Jackets. Now second chance, goes back to Juliana Park. And this one dribbles out of bounds. It's incredible for Juliana Park, one of those players who almost exclusively plays down on the block. You see when she gets out on the perimeter, she is such a good shooter. Averaging 28 minutes per game and looking comfortable in this contest. We know she missed that game versus Hollins. Not going to speculate on the why. The Yellow Jacket squad seems to have figured it out. Now Bree Spainauer, once again posting up, goes upstairs and in. Extra seasoning on that finish to make it just an 8-point game. Bree Spainauer now 8 points on the day. Someone who can really dictate a lot of results for this Lynchburg team as pass goes just inside the 3-point line and jump ball that will head the Hornets' way. That physicality on full display as Ziegler and Bruce return to the contest. Ashley Vandergrift set to inbound. Ashley Vandergrift celebrating a birthday today. What better way to celebrate than some ODAC hoops? It's always those January birthdays too, out in the cold. Not many other holidays to celebrate. A lot of fun here in Turner. Pass outside to Kaysen. Thought that one was in, but the offensive rebound from Vandergrift. Hornets look to set up shop again, and the referees will have a discussion. Looks like it is clock related. It will be reset to 20. Here's Coach Allison Nichols in her 4th season. Once again, trying to get this Lynchburg team back, not only to the ODAC quarterfinals, but maybe beyond. It's such a tough conference despite having just one team ranked in Washington and Lee. Oh, wow, Harris has separation and hits the mid-range. So the Hornets creeping back into this one late in the second quarter. The question is, can they get out of the door before Randolph-Macon has another answer? Bruce surveys the hesitation. Did Spainauer get the charge? Yes, she did. Great read on the defensive end, and Bree Spainauer getting it done on both sides of the court. And the Hornets can hold for one final shot. That is a veteran play from Bree Spainauer. Not much that Bella Bruce could do. Someone who is so quick off those first few dribbles for the Yellow Jackets. Doesn't get it to go this time, and here comes Harris outside to Vandergrift. Clock winding down on maybe the final play of the half. Vandergrift misses everything. Kaysen taps the rebound out to Petty, and the mid-range won't fall. And maybe a heave in store. Kagi from half court. Might have been late. It won't matter. Randolph-Macon getting off to the races early, and they've held that lead ever since. But Lynchburg chipping away, and some strong looks in transition late in that second quarter. They cut the lead to 6, and we have a fun 20 minutes in store on the other side. We'll take a look at some of those halftime stats and analysis momentarily, but so glad you're joining us here in the Hill City. Welcome back in the Hill City. Lynchburg trailing Randolph-Macon by 6, but it is a contest that has been certainly the Yellow Jackets' way. It started with a lot of energy from this Randolph-Macon squad, and Catherine Kagi, one of those players down low who has been such a difference maker. If you remember in last year's contest, one of those players who was not present against Lynchburg in that double overtime affair. She has been a big-time performer in this one, whereas Lynchburg starting to find their stride late in the second quarter. And Olivia Harris, one of the reasons why, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and you're seeing those two players go at it despite being in different positions, getting it done in different ways. We'll see how they impact the scoreline in this second half as we take a look at some of the halftime stats from those first 20 minutes. Randolph-Macon really dominating, and it doesn't exactly show up on the stat sheet, but you see that turnover disparity. It felt like Randolph-Macon just caused so much havoc on the defensive end, allowing just 4 points in that first quarter. And so a lot has to change for this Lynchburg offense, and it's going to have to start with passing. Just 2 assists recorded in those first 20 minutes as well. So Coach Nichols' squad understands the assignment. We'll see what adjustments are made here in this second half. Don't forget, on LHSN, another game in the cards for this Wednesday evening. Lynchburg will take on Roanoke at about 7:30 on the men's side. A Roanoke team that is receiving votes, so two very similar climates in these two games. It's a Lynchburg team trying to play spoiler to some of those stories that will be manifesting late in the season. Randolph-Macon, a team that feels like they probably should be ranked, and you see later in the ODAC slate, you have to imagine a few more wins will put them in that top 25. Washington and Lee was in that top 10 in the preseason poll via D3 Hoops, now ranked number 20. And Randolph-Macon and Bridgewater both receiving votes. So it will be a very competitive conference tournament once again. 5 all ODAC first teamers return this season. Randolph-Macon, a squad that had 2 on the all-conference list last year. Juliana Park was a second teamer, and then Jane Elkins on that first team, no longer playing with this squad, and just an injury-riddled start to this season. And so we know that Randolph-Macon has used their post players to their advantage, but just trying to keep them healthy down the stretch will be the key to success. As you see a look at the Lynchburg bench, and Coach Nichols giving final instructions in her 4th season at the helm here in Lynchburg. Bridgewater graduate, also attended nearby Brookville High School. We've talked about both coaches throughout this contest. Well, Lindsey Burke-Eberhardt in her 5th season, 72-24 at Randolph-Macon. That's good for just about 75% in that win percentage, which is absolutely incredible for your first few years with the program. Randolph-Macon showing us why they have continued to dominate. 13 or more ODAC wins in the last 3 seasons for Coach Burke's squad, as this time, first look of the second half doesn't connect. Second one does, as Matheny rattles it home. The offensive boards didn't exactly feel like a difference maker in that first half. Maybe it will be another big point disparity if they can make it happen now. Oh, wow, Olivia Harris had a beautiful move, and it's just one of those rolls that goes the other way. The 50-50s. Now Kagi. Cross-court pass to Smith. Ziegler was ready to wind and fire. Rebound falls in the hands of Kaysen. Off and running, Littlejohn looks for Harris. Maybe choosing to set up the offense and slow things down. It looked like Lynchburg had numbers momentarily. Now Spainhour outside to Audra Petty. Who can connect the dots the most? This is that typical move from Spainhour in isolation in the paint. Doesn't connect this time. Making 5 on 4. Smith hits Kagi. Bounce pass down low to Matheny, and Brooke Kaysen swats it away for a guard. She certainly starts tallying up some of those blocks throughout the season. That's her 2nd of the contest. Now outside, Kate Littlejohn. Surveying mid-range, and it'll go out to Littlejohn for 3. So many decent looking looks. The Hornets still unable to score their first points of the second half. Bella Bruce sets up shop in the corner. Kicks it outside to Ziegler. 8 on the shot clock for Sam Smith. Tries to find the pocket and not going to get this call. It will stay with the Yellow Jackets. Sam Smith, someone who is so short and shifty, it will prompt a conversation with this Yellow Jackets bench. We'll see if the referees corroborate a decision. Looked like one referee wanted a foul. The other said play on. No, it will actually be Lynchburg's basketball. So it was a question of whether or not there was a late deflection. Sam Smith, with her size, 5'6", obviously will get a decent number of calls when she gets into the paint. And especially with her aggressive mindset, always looking to get to the cup. It will pay off as Olivia Harris, smooth-looking jumper, doesn't fall home. Randolph-Macon, a team that has fielded an ODAC first-teamer 4 consecutive seasons. Continuing to climb in that ODAC picture. Blocking foul called on Bree Spainhour. Yellow Jackets bench loves it, and some hands on heads on the other side. Just foul number 1 for Bree Spainhour. Looks like they're gonna take a look at Sam Smith on that far side, so we'll have a moment to step back. And an 8-point affair. Inbounds to Ziegler. Fake in the paint. And now another look that doesn't fall from Matheny. After a lightning quick first quarter, things have slowed down here in the third. Some stop and go action as it's another inbounds play for Randolph-Macon. Bella Bruce still looking for options outside. Sam Smith tries to insert the pass down low. Nice thought, but poor execution. Lynchburg takes over. 6:51 to go in this third quarter. Once again, a dry spell to start another set of 10 minutes. Lynchburg looking for their first bucket. Littlejohn just using that size down low. A late whistle. It will go against Sam Smith. And 2 shots at the line for Kate Littlejohn. If you're a Yellow Jackets fan, you don't like that one, feel like it might be late, but have to imagine it's the right call. So Littlejohn went up and certainly felt that contact, so 2 shots at the line. Littlejohn looking to get on the board, hasn't scored yet in this contest, but someone who is so essential to Lynchburg's success, especially coming in as a transfer, that starting point guard role. 73% shooter from the stripe, makes 1 of 2. Now a different look defensively. Some zone coverage and that rotation that leaves Kagi wide open at the free throw line. She finds her space so well. That's why she was a former All-ODAC first teamer. That feel for the game is simply incredible as Littlejohn steps outside. Petty has it blocked, and on the runway is Kagi again. Can Kaysen get there to block it? Doesn't matter. Prompts a timeout on the other side. Randolph-Macon continuing to pace away, and after Lynchburg had cut it to single digits here to begin the third quarter, the Yellow Jackets and Catherine Kagi off to the races. 11-point lead in favor of Randolph-Macon, 31-20 here in the third quarter with 5:59 to play. Catherine Kagi starting to really have a strong handprint on this game. 12 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. So getting it done offensively and defensively. Kagi has just been so impressive throughout her career, continuing to put up numbers at a high rate, but this is the first season that she is averaging a double-double in her time with Randolph-Macon, at least looking at those end-of-the-year stats. We'll see if she holds on, but right now it looks like this game will certainly help if she can get a few more boards as Olivia Harris tied up. And once again, defensive efforts pay off. Stays with the Hornets, 7 on the shot clock. Lynchburg looking to have a winning record in ODAC play for the first time since the 21-22 season. So we talk about playoff or conference tournament aspirations for Randolph-Macon. Well, Lynchburg definitely has milestones of their own, and a team that won the conference tournament just a few years ago, looking to get back to that status. A very heavy ODAC. Olivia Harris. It's the shot clock reset, so now 16-6. Pass inside, there's Spainhour, that traditional move. She gets fouled and hits the hardwood. Foul caught on Matheny, and 2 shots coming from Bree Spainhour. That spin move is just so classy when she can get to her spot, and you think about not only getting the layups, but also being ready for the mid-range, having different options in your bag. First shot rattles in, it's a 10-point lead. Randolph-Macon has definitely used their style of play, but the turnovers are starting to rack up. That's number 10 on the day for a team that's averaging just over 13 per game. That's good for 23rd in the nation. So Lynchburg's defense has definitely won those smaller victories, but the offensive boards have started stacking up. 5 for the Yellow Jackets. They're also getting very open looks as Olivia Harris pulls the rebound down, looks to expand those options. Now one-on-one with Sam Smith. Strong dribble, great fake. Somehow kept that pivot foot, but still can't get a clean look off the glass. Connectivity around the perimeter for Randolph-Macon. Ziegler still looking to direct traffic. Now pass down low to Kagi. Ziegler returns the favor down low. Another assist added to the tally. Fantastic passing in this game from Randolph-Macon. Their 9th assist to just 2 on Lynchburg's end. The Hornets 0 for 7 in this third quarter without a field goal. Change that. Bree Spainhour animated under the bucket. So aggressive and really trying to spark some energy into a Lynchburg team that has struggled to find momentum. As Casey double teamed down low for that offensive rebound. Yellow Jackets not afraid to send numbers forward. Here's Sam Smith. Working around, and Spainhour called for the blocking foul. Sam Smith was really looking to turn that corner, and that cross-court pass was open. Substitutions for Lynchburg are Audra Petty and Letty Michael, who will get her first minutes of the day, but it'll be delayed as we have another break, and we will step aside momentarily here on LHSN. Randolph-Macon still leading the way, up 9. Just 5 players for Lynchburg right now in double digits for minutes, and all of them are starters. All of them have 18 or more. The sophomore from Lexington, North Carolina. Definitely that part of the season where Coach Nichols is trying to establish some consistency. Catherine Kagi establishing presence down low, add 2 to the tally. Complete dominance down low, but it's not just her ability as a post player. She can do a little bit of everything. Now Petty works it outside to Harris, has the front step, goes up, and gets a lucky bounce and in. Olivia Harris in double figures for the Hornets. Spainhour has 12, Harris now has 11. Smith finds an open Ziegler. And Kagi decides to use that space in the mid-range, no good. Nadra Petty kicks it out to Harris. It is just a 9-point game, and a few buckets from Lynchburg could put them right back in the picture. That's the nice part about having a slower game, a defensive battle. First quarter, just 15 combined points. Randolph-Macon led 11-4 as traveling violation is caught on the Hornets. Bella Bruce will step back in. As well, Aaron Porter, the freshman from Virginia Beach, and then it'll also be Matheny who comes in. So a trio added to the equation for Randolph-Macon. Going back to the minutes conversation for Lynchburg, their starters getting increased production at this stage. Well, last year, 10 different players averaged double-digit minutes. It was such a different equation, and it's not that this group is any less talented, but just different roles. Losing Sayre Brandstatter at the helm, that point guard, Sammy Sever, someone else who could drive. It has been a shooting struggle for the Hornets in recent games, but Marissa Ziegler hits another triple, her second of the game. Lynchburg shooting just around 28% from beyond the perimeter this year. Several players starting to get more looks inside. Also trying to drive as Andra Petty is one of the three-point shooters that swishes this one home. She might be stealing some of those percentage points from everybody else because she is shooting such at a high rate and impressive level. First in the ODAC for three-point percentage by 5 percentage points. Just incredible stuff, under 45% as Olivia Harris looks to run. Downstairs, swatted away. It's called on Porter. 2 shots on the way for Olivia Harris, who leads the squad at the stripe, just over 80%. Kayla Sledge will step back in. Olivia Harris coming into this one also leads the team with 16 offensive rebounds on the season, and she's just 5'9", playing that guard position. Free throws have been so crucial for this Lynchburg team, especially down the stretch in games like the Webster contest. Even going back to Virginia Wesleyan, who did not let up until the final second. The Marlins fouled with even a few ticks left on the clock. A big pair of free throws, a 7-point game, and under a minute to go in this third quarter. Lots of movement around the perimeter. Bella Bruce ready to fire from 3. Every punch Lynchburg throws, the Yellow Jackets have found a way to extinguish. Timely buckets. And that is just Bruce's first bucket of the game. Littlejohn looking to read the screen, gets into the paint, left hand up and in. Littlejohn strong around the rim. Beautiful finishing ability. The lead is at 8. The Yellow Jackets look for a final bucket and an offensive foul. 5th of the quarter. And Randolph-Macon giving the ball right back. We'll see if the Hornets want to draw something up. It's just a substitution as Kagi steps back in. What do the Hornets have in store with 3.5 to go? Pass outside. Bruce got the disruption. Littlejohn lets this one go. That's how the third quarter ends. But Lynchburg holds this lead to just 8. Within striking distance against the second best team in the conference as it stands. Randolph-Macon looking to shut the door on the other side. Randolph-Macon shoots 50% in the third quarter, but still haven't really stretched out that lead. They flirted with double digits. They've been there a few times, but Lynchburg has come back. It'll have to take an even stronger effort from the Hornets if they want to establish a spot to play for this game, because it feels like the Hornets have been trailing. Lynchburg swim team out in full fashion. You'll see that at every single home game. And they're bringing a little extra energy here in the fourth quarter. We'll see if the Hornets can use it to their advantage as Letty Michael passes outside. Now isolation, Taylor Brown, confident looking shot. And it rattles around and in. 6-point game. The noise has returned to Turner Gymnasium. Here's Kagi. Passing around the horn, Littlejohn wants to give Sam Smith that right. She goes left and in the paint. Trickles one home. So confident with that left hand, and you're starting to see that defensive response. Here's Kate Littlejohn. Pass to Michael. Maybe a little extra pace as Littlejohn once again to the cup. Everything but the finish. It stays under the basket for the Hornets. 8:50 to play. Kate Littlejohn turning into a professional driver. She has been so good at getting to the hoop, and as a point guard, especially a distributor, a facilitator, it's not always common that you get as many looks as she does inside the paint. Great IQ, especially cutting off ball, and that might be, a large reason why she's getting some of those options. Another player with great feel for the game, Brooke Kaysen. Fake outside, Petty ready to fire. Misses the three. Taylor Brown right under the bucket, couldn't get it to go. Taylor Brown battling an injury earlier in the season. Played just 2 minutes against North Carolina Wesleyan. That is when Lynchburg established its new starting lineup as Bella Bruce knocks home the straightaway three. Silencing one side of the gym and igniting another. Now Kate Littlejohn knows time is quickly ticking off the clock. 8 minutes to play. Off the other end, Kaysen kicks outside to Letty Michael. Straight away three, knocks it in. Threes for threes here in this fourth quarter. Sam Smith rattles it outside. Ziegler looks to Bella Bruce. Can she do it again? Oh my. Have yourself a night, Bella Bruce. When the Yellow Jackets have needed it the most, she has fired from three-point land. Now 3 of 3 from beyond the perimeter. Letty Michael, another three-point specialist, goes outside. Taylor Brown isolated down low. Little John fires for three, clips the iron. This is what makes Randolph-Macon such a difficult team to play, because not only can they start speeding things up, when the clock is on their side, they don't turn the ball over at a high rate. Smith bounces it out to Kagi. Little slip pass to Sam Smith. Oh, wow. Textbook offense. And the Yellow Jackets creeping away. A 13-point lead here in the Hill City. 6:40 to go in the fourth quarter. We'll take a quick break on LHSN. Welcome back here on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Under 7 to go here in the Hill City. As we take a look at some of the stats at this stage of the game, Randolph-Macon right now out rebounding Lynchburg 25-20. It feels like it's been a pretty even disparity, at least on the defensive side. But, you know, maybe the number to pay attention to is 14 points off turnovers for the Yellow Jackets. Lynchburg has just 3. And they really haven't been able to find a rhythm in disrupting Randolph-Macon. Granted, the Yellow Jackets do have 12 turnovers, but they also have 14 assists. Their offense is humming at a high rate. And Lynchburg will have to find another answer to the equation. You see Taylor Brown still in the contest, number 22 down low. Kate Littlejohn will take this one up the court for the Hornets. So they have a little extra size to combat some of that post presence from Randolph-Macon. Question is, will it be enough? Littlejohn looks down low. Spainhour trying to bully. Sam Smith gets the nice 2. That puts Bree Spainhour at 14 points on the contest. 3 rebounds to go with it. And a bucket that Lynchburg just needed at this stage. Smith, the ODAC Rookie of the Year, putting on a clinic in this fourth quarter. Getting lots of separation. The speed has been impressive. Randolph-Macon has its largest lead of the contest at 13. It hasn't climbed past, but time getting late for the Hornets. Here's Smith again, runs into trouble. Now searching for the reversal. Smith fires a shot, no good. Spainhour works for the rebound. Kagi was closing in. Here comes Olivia Harris into the paint, somehow wraps around. She'll add to the stripe for 2 more. The team leader in free throws will add a chance for 2. Third foul on Bella Bruce, who has been so good from beyond the perimeter. Audra Petty will come in to replace Taylor Brown. So starters in at this stage for both squads. And Harris misses the front end. such a disparity last year between Lynchburg and their opponents was just free throw attempts. A lot of other teams getting those free throws at a higher rate. Some of that post play can be a big factor in a Lynchburg team that really utilizes the three-point shot at a higher rate. They've struggled shooting this season, but still using some of those 5-out looks. The question now becomes, can they get it down the stretch? As Randolph-Macon has found it. Ziegler swishes home another triple. Randolph-Macon is finding their footing from three-point land, maybe giving Lynchburg a taste of its own medicine as Kaysen downhill will head to the stripe for 2 more. Macon 8 of 21 from beyond the perimeter. Lynchburg just 3 of 18. Morgan Miller steps back into the contest. That's another three-point shooter for the Yellow Jackets, shooting 37% from beyond the perimeter last year. Down to 29 on this season for Miller, as Kaysen makes 1 of 2. This one has stayed close and mostly in single digits, but Randolph-Macon putting a stamp here in this 4th quarter, looking to find the exit signs as Bella Bruce misses a 3. Haven't said that tonight until that shot. But the offensive rebound stacking up. Here's Bruce again. Isolated, looking to get to the hoop, and a little too much contact from Olivia Harris. First foul of the game. Just the second on Lynchburg here in this 4th quarter. Or excuse me, that's just the first for the Hornets. So should this game get close within the final minutes, they'll have to foul a few more times. Matheny off the mark. Now Kaysen ready to connect. 3 off the mark on the other side. And trading misses as the Yellow Jackets repossess. Spainhour with a nice block upstairs. Now looks to push outside to Littlejohn. Reversal stuffed from Catherine Kagi. It stays with the Hornets. Another block. That's her 3rd of the game. So disciplined down low, so disciplined in every department are the Yellow Jackets, and Lynchburg will face another foe in the ODAC that has all the boxes checked as Olivia Harris can't connect on the layup. It'll be a date with Shenandoah on Saturday, team that played in that conference championship. Offensive rebound won't go, second chance, and foul on the floor. Everybody getting up on their feet on that Randolph-Macon bench. Lynchburg will travel to Winchester for that contest on Saturday at 2 p.m. Then 2 games in the Hill City the following week, but one of them will be across town at Randolph. That is who Randolph-Macon plays next on Saturday, but that will be at home in Ashland, a 2 p.m. start time before they travel to play Shenandoah. But they're feeling really good about their performance in this second half. Catherine Kagi rattles home another 2. The lead is extended to 16. Shooting 50% in this second half. Randolph-Macon has found the buckets when they've needed them. So versatile. What's so interesting about Randolph-Macon and Shenandoah is not only are they both disciplined, but very similar styles of play. So Lynchburg almost getting a little bit of a rust buster in this contest. What is so interesting as well, as Spainhour rattles one off the glass and in, is that so many other teams had games before Lynchburg got to play. There was a game scheduled against Newport News Apprentice on January 4th. They didn't get that contest, and so it was Ferrum and Virginia Wesleyan and now you're immediately still in the heart of conference play. Whereas just a week and a half ago, you were getting back with, 7 or 8 days straight of practice. Talking with Coach Allison Nichols before this game, she said, it's tough when you have so many consecutive practices, you don't get a game. That Newport News game would have been a nice one at home, just to be able to really adjust and get back for the second semester. Lynchburg's players got a little bit of an extended winter break. Not having a game in late December as Morgan Miller called for the foul. Fourth of this fourth quarter for Randolph-Macon. So stepping back into Turner Gymnasium for the first time is a great step for Lynchburg, and it's certainly going to start a long slate in late January and February of being in this building as Taylor Brown receives the pass, rocks it up and in. The Hornets have several games at home left on the slate, but still a couple more coming up that will be difficult tasks on the road, playing some of the conference's best. Very fortunate is this Lynchburg team to get that Washington and Lee game out of the way early, at least in December. I mean, when you look at the schedule of the ODAC, there's no avoiding some of these games because so many opponents are playing at a high rate, and even the middle and bottom part of the conference is starting to improve. This Lynchburg team still has another game against Washington and Lee later in the season. And so you think, yeah, you get one game off against one of the conference's elite. You still got a few more as Catherine Kagi gets another swat. Not always guaranteed that you know the player of the game, you know the standout performer. Well, Catherine Kagi has put up exactly what Matheny did last time out, 18 points and 13 rebounds. She's added 4 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks, and just 32 minutes of play. It has been an impressive showing from this Randolph-Macon squad. Lynchburg right now led by Bree Spainauer and Olivia Harris, scoring 30 of the 46 points. The Hornets scored just 4 points in that first quarter, 2 for 10 from the field. But it wasn't exactly a dominant lead for Randolph-Macon, scoring just 11 of their own. They have slowly extended this one out, now putting Lynchburg in a very difficult position down the stretch. Littlejohn flirting with that 5-second count. Doesn't matter. Catherine Kagi out of the blocks. Runs into contact on the other end. She'll head to the stripe for 2. For someone who has had 2 ACL tears and also plays that post position, she might be one of the quickest that you see in the conference. That first step, so impressive. Kagi has so much Randolph-Macon history. Father David was an All-American for the men's team, and it just obviously shows up when you watch her play. This Yellow Jackets team will extend that win streak to 12 and remain undefeated in conference play at 6-0. Just 1 loss to Gettysburg. For Lynchburg, they have flirted with 500 the entire season. 6-6 coming into this contest, and it will fall to a losing record as the shot clock expires with 22 seconds left. Lynchburg currently 6th in the ODAC. 5 different teams with either 2 or 3 wins in the conference slate will certainly start to separate in the coming weeks, as Coach Lindsey Burke will go into her bench. The Hornets going to have to take this one on the chin and move forward. They've certainly shown us they are capable of rebounding. look no further than the last game. After a very difficult loss against Ferrum, really felt like a lot of the energy wasn't there in a tough road contest. They're going to have to find their footing again against a very tough Shenandoah team, as Lynchburg had a technical foul assessed to that bench. Allison Nichols, the head coach, looked like she had a final word with the referee and say, yeah, we're sorry about that one. Emotions getting high late in the game, and I think it's really just a collection of some of the recent plays. Emily Olson swishes one home at the stripe and goes 2 for 2. Schedule not getting any easier for Lynchburg, but great test before hitting the heart of conference play heading into that ODAC tournament. A lot to discuss and a lot to rediscover, but Randolph-Macon showing us that they are exactly who we expected, a team that has come to dominate the conference and a team that knows they can go on to potentially win it. They're looking very good with last year's ODAC Coach of the Year, ODAC Rookie of the Year, both returning, and a slew of options for that all-ODAC first team. They have been playing so well. They had another W to the tally. For Lynchburg, it's at Shenandoah on Saturday, at Randolph next Wednesday, and they will return to Turner Gymnasium on Saturday, January 25th, to take on Bridgewater in a 2 o'clock start time. As we said, not getting any easier. A lot of options from this ODAC conference that have been so dominant. Bree Spainhour led the way for Lynchburg with 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks. It's not enough as the Yellow Jackets crawl away with a 60-46 win, largely in part by Catherine Kage's 18 points, 13 rebounds, and the entire stat sheet for this starting lineup from Randolph-Macon. It was so good tonight, and they come away with the victory by 14. So don't forget, men's hoops slated for 7:30. It'll be Roanoke taking on Lynchburg, and a Roanoke team that is also receiving votes in that national poll. So a great contest on the way. A big thanks to everybody on the LHSN staff and everybody who has helped out with this broadcast. Josh Smith, Caroline Gerke, and our director, Micah Adams. I'm Evan Gates saying so long from the Hill City.